Hello everybody, it's Teddy1 here in today's video. We have got some stuff to talk about today. Mainly stuff for NetherRealm Studios, the creators of Mortal Kombat and Justice games. There is some pretty cool update stuff. Now, what I mean by update is there is a tweet on Twitter that I just watched a video on, and I kind of have it popped up and everything. Like, basically, I have this thing popped up. I'm gonna show you. I did kind of write down some stuff for this subject, so there's quite a bit of things I'm talking about here on this channel, on this video. So Ed Boon was trolling about something for NetherRealm Studios, and his tweet goes like this: "What do you want to see from NetherRealm Studios next?" And we all know Ed Boon likes to troll us. He's pretty big with that. Now, I have kind of heard some things that a lot of the time when he is trolling, there's a YouTuber I was watching, and 9 times out of 10 he's not really lying. He's been honest from this point, even though it was a tweet from like 2 years ago or however long it was. He's kind of pretty much given us, the the knock, pretty much the knock on the head, like, is this happening? Or so whenever I seen this tweet, I was like, why is he saying that? What's he trolling us about? Well, there is a voting poll of 4 games of what the next NetherRealm Studios game could be. And I did write them on a list. And I did write them on a list. Now, I'm sure this list I wrote, I'm sure the voting and stuff will get bigger as it goes, but I just wrote down the previous of what it is now, so you guys can get what I'm talking about. So the 4 games that are on this voting poll are Injustice 3, sitting at 22%, sitting at 22.7%. A Marvel game, sitting at 12.5%. A Marvel vs. DC fighting game, Marvel vs. DC game, sitting at 41.5%. And then the next one is the next Mortal Kombat game, sitting at 29.3%. So, whenever I was going through and, looking at the poll and everything, I was kind of like, I got to thinking, I was like, okay, if y'all remember, beforehand, normally when they make a Mortal Kombat game, they make a Injustice game, right? They make an Injustice game, and then they make a, sorry guys, hold on a second. There we go. Basically, it was going from Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Mortal Kombat, Injustice. So they kind of had it in a pattern. Well, the last year or so, they broke that pattern, so we were not getting that. And by looking at this poll of where Injustice 3 is at, I'm going to take a guess we're not getting that anytime soon. But if y'all are wondering, like, what I honestly, what I'm saying, what I think is, I'm sure the Marvel game, the Marvel vs. DC, or the next Mortal Kombat, those could be they probably could be fighting it, but who's to say that they could be like, just uh like an arcade beat 'em up games, or like a co-op type thing. And then they like they could go to a whole different route instead of just have it as a fighting game. But I'm willing to think I don't think they're really going to go that way. I think they're going to stick with. I think they're going to have it as a fighting game. But by looking at this poll, um, by looking at this poll of what I wrote down, I mean, there isn't. I wrote mine down because a lot of people had theirs different, and I found like the current one they had for now and stuff. So I'm sure it'll change. Like I said, here and there and stuff. We'll all have to keep. You'll just have to like go on Twitter and stuff and check it out and see for yourself. On Ed Bood's uh, channel, on Ed Bood's site, whatever it's on. I don't have Twitter, so I can't really like say what you call it because I've never really had a Twitter account. um. Anyways, what I was saying is, if you're wondering, what am I interested into, Tyler? If you guys are wondering what Tyler over here is interested in, like what am I looking forward to? I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you an honest option. I think what I honestly think I like to see out of the four, this one right here, the sorry guys, the Marvel vs. DC game. That is honestly what I'd like to see. For a close second, probably next Mortal Kombat. And the way I could see this actually progressing, or how this actually could go. Honestly, I'm willing. If I know we are getting a Mortal Kombat game, I know that's been talks about on the channel on YouTube quite a bit. But in case we are not getting, this is just in case we're not getting a Mortal Kombat game. If we are not getting that, I am willing to say I think the one that we might be getting is the Marvel vs. DC game. Even though for a little while there wasn't much talks about it, because there wasn't much talks about it for a while, but ever since they first started bringing it up on Twitter, ever since Ed Boon brought it up on Twitter, and for a while there wasn't much talks about it. Now, when he tweeted this stuff, and he has that game on the poll, he's throwing a bone somewhere, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that's not what we're getting. Now, when are we actually going to get, like, footage and, more official news of, like, what's to come with that? That's an honest question. I'm not really too sure about that yet, but I honestly think it's there. It's just when are we, getting that? And I'm not necessarily saying the next Mortal Kombat game's out of the woods. I'm not saying that because that's obviously going to happen because they've been talking about, because they're doing the Mortal Kombat trilogy remake, which from the PS1 from the Super Nintendo 64, so they're doing a remastered remake kind of look to it. So obviously Mortal Kombat's having something going on, and obviously even though the one that's just the Marvel game has a very low percentage, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if a Marvel game gets thrown around there somewhere, because there was a new Marvel game I seen the other day. It was Black Panther and Captain America something. Now, I don't know if it's like I'm not sure if it's a single player game or what it's going to be, but like I don't know if that's what the Marvel games are going to be and stuff. But I'm willing to think it's going to go Marvel versus DC. The next Mortal Kombat game is going to be the close second to Marvel vs. DC. A Marvel game, I am willing to say, is going to be a third, even though it's a low poll right now. I would say the Marvel game is going to be there, and I'm going to say Justice is going to take the last on this one. The reason last on this. But, there is some, possibilities that could change. Like, they could reverse that. But from what a lot of people have been saying, there are some that's how they can kind of see it. But like I said, there could be some reverse changes in there too. So, what do you guys all think? What do you guys all looking forward to? What do you want to see NetherRealm Studios actually make? Do you want a Marvel vs. DC game? Mortal Kombat? Marvel? Honestly, I think if anything that I'm interested in right now, I think the two I'm interested in is a Marvel vs. DC or the new Mortal Kombat game. I think that's about the only two things I'm really interested in right now. Not to say that the Marvel game, whatever they're doing with that, isn't going to be any good. What they're doing, if they're doing anything with it, but the two that have the most poll votes in right now, are about the only two I'm really looking into right now. Injustice 3, maybe, but the way that they've been talking, I've not heard too much with it, so I'm not sure what's to come with that. So, would I like Injustice 3? Sure, but I think what I'm really looking forward to is the Marvel CC is really high on my chances here, and then the next Mortal Kombat is probably the closest second. Like I said, comment section below. I'm gonna try and see if I see anything else. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stuff. I do pretty much make videos every day, so if you guys want to, check out my gaming channel and everything, go for it. Subscribe. Check out my channel and stuff. I try to pretty much post and catch up with everybody as much as I can. I basically do a lot of listening and reading and stuff before I post everything. I know some people just kind of throw it out there, but I try to listen and watch everybody before I start doing that and stuff, and just kind of pass it along to people. Let people know the good news, basically. So, yeah, post a comment section below, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as always. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.